Hi, I'm Jeff Goldberg from Jeff Goldberg & Associates, where we're dedicated to helping you achieve measurable and sustainable sales improvement. And this is another in our series of video newsletters. Today, I'd like to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to my heart. We all want to close as much business as we possibly can. And what that means is we have to respect our own time. We have to make sure that every minute of every day that we can be working with prospects and customers, that we're doing that. But the fact is that there are only so many hours in a day, a week, or a month. So one of the things I'm constantly trying to do, and one of the things I want you to do, is to always be looking for ways to shorten your sales cycle. Now, there's not really a lot that we truly control in the sales process, but the one thing that we can influence is moving the sale forward consistently. And the technique I'd like to share with you today, in order to move the sale forward consistently, figure out whether or not you're working with real prospects or people who are wasting your time, and shorten your sales cycle, is called the Best Next Action Step Philosophy, short BNAS. The BNAS is the Best Next Action Step Philosophy, and quite simply, here's what it says. Never, ever leave a meeting or a phone call without setting up the next meeting or a phone call right then and there. That's so important, I'm going to repeat it. Never leave a meeting or a phone call without setting up the next meeting or phone call right then and there. If you'll do that one simple thing, make that an unbreakable rule for you and anybody you work with. Never leave a meeting or a phone call without setting up the next meeting or phone call right then and there. I promise you that every time you do it, you'll save somewhere between 1 and 3 weeks off your sales process. Now here's why. The typical salesperson ends a meeting like this. Well, Steve, you've given me a lot of great information today, and here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to go back to my office, think about everything we've discussed, put some ideas on paper, I'll write up a proposal for you, and as soon as I've got that proposal ready, I'll give you a call, we'll set up another appointment, and I'll come back and show it to you. And when you ask Steve if that sounds good to him, he's going to say, of course it does. The reason he says it's okay with him is because Steve has agreed to one thing and one thing only. He said it's okay with him if you go back to your office and do a lot of work and try to reach him. He didn't even say he'd accept your call, but he said it's okay if you try to. A better way is, hey Steve, you've given me a lot of great information today, and here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to go back to my office, think about everything we've discussed, put some ideas on paper, write you up a proposal, and I'd like to come back and show you that proposal next Tuesday at 3. How does that sound to you? Well, when Steve agrees to meeting with you next Tuesday at 3, agreeing to give you more of his valuable time, he's interested. He's actually said to you, I'm interested. He didn't necessarily say he'll buy, but he certainly said he's interested. And to me, that's somebody who I'll work very hard for. I'll put together a great proposal. I'll come in and deliver it beautifully. Let's take another example. Let's say Steve actually is interested, but you end the meeting the first way, without actually setting the appointment. But remember, Steve's interested. You go back to your office, do a lot of work, write up a proposal, and then you call Steve and try to get a hold of him. Does Steve answer the phone on the first call? Well, Steve's probably a busy executive, so most likely not. Most likely you're going to leave Steve a message, but remember, Steve's interested, so what does he do? He calls you back. Well, you're busy too, so he may or may not get you, and he probably leaves you a message. You probably go back and forth a few times over a couple of days till eventually one of you gets the other one on the phone. And here's what Steve's going to hear from me. Hey, Steve, are you sitting down? No? Well, sit down and buckle your seatbelt, because the proposal I put together for you is going to rocket you right out of your chair. Can we get together and talk about it this afternoon? Well, first of all, I'd never say that because I want Steve to believe I'm busy, even if I'm not. And second of all, Steve's busy too. So it's most likely going to be sometime in the next 1 to 3 weeks when you and Steve can coordinate your calendars and actually meet about your proposal. Whereas if I just got Steve to agree to the meeting when I was with him, I'm probably going to save myself that 1 to 3 weeks. Do you want to shorten your sales cycle so that you can put more people in the process and close more business this year? Use the Best Next Action Step Philosophy. Never leave a meeting or a phone call without setting up the next meeting or phone call right then and there. As always, I hope you got something out of this video, and remember that at JG&A, we're here to help you make it happen.